Hey guys, so I'm gonna tell y'all a story that happened yesterday. So it's evening time, getting a little dark, and I'm getting ready to go take my bath. And my dad's in from being a truck driver. And as many of y'all know, we live in a small town and we live off of a busy highway. And there's an empty field next to our house. It used to have a house and used to have people live there a long time ago whenever I was little. And now the owners just cut the grass and stuff. Anyway, Dad's outside smoking a cigarette, and me and Mom are in the kitchen, and we hear him yelling. Okay, we think, okay, he's messing with a squirrel or a bird or something, you know, being silly. But then he tells us to bring his phone outside. So I go bring him his phone, and there's this big oak tree in the field next door, and he says, "Jimmy, look at that oak tree." And I'm like, okay, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, Dad, what am I looking at? Turns out he said he had seen somebody on the road jump from a moving vehicle or get hit by a car. He couldn't really tell. All he knows is he saw a guy tumble in the road and toward the fence of the field. And then the guy jumps the fence and he goes sit under the big oak tree that has some brush around it, so you really can't see him once he's sitting there. And Dad had never seen him come out, so Dad's yelling, "Hey, I see you. I'm gonna call the cops if you don't come out." He eventually calls the cops because the guy don't come out. Okay, so after he calls the cops, I go in and run the bath water to get ready for my bath. And right before I get in the tub, I hear my dogs barking. I was like, okay, that's probably the cops. That was quick. No, it wasn't the cops. It was, they were barking at my dad. Turns out the guy had gotten out, and, him and Dad had words. And, the guy's like, "Hey, somebody's trying to murder me, blah, blah, blah." And Dad's like, um, wait, no. Let me rephrase that. I got dogs barking, so I'm kind of distracted. Okay, so here's what happened. The guy comes out, and they exchange words. And he's like, "Hey, somebody's trying to kill me. I was just sitting under a tree, no big deal." And Dad's like, "No, you can't do that. That's not your property. That's illegal. That's trespassing." The guy's like, "I didn't know." And Dad's like, "I was yelling at you that if you didn't come out, I was going to call the cops. But let's put that aside. I did call the cops, so if somebody is trying to murder you, or if you're hurt, just stay right there. They'll be here soon." The guy's like, "No, that's okay," and he walks off down the road. Okay, an hour, 10 minutes pass. I already took my bath. I'm out, and the cops still never showed up. So we getting ready to go to bed, and Dad's like, "Okay, I'm gonna call him back, see what's going on," because we told them it was suspicious activity, and they still not here, and it shouldn't take this long, because if it was suspicious or an emergency, an hour and 10 minutes and y'all still never showed up, that's enough time for somebody to be dead and murdered. Thank God we weren't. But here's the real kicker. Dad calls back the sheriff's office, the cops, and he's like, "Yo, it's an hour and 10 minutes since I called y'all. Nobody showed up." And the receptionist, or whoever answers the phone, read the report, and she said, "Well, they talked to the guy already." And Dad's like, "No, the guy left 30 minutes after I called y'all, and nobody ever came out to talk to us." And so she reads through the notes, and she said, "Oh, it was a shop down the road, a radiator shop." And turns out we know the family. But, yeah, it was interesting. So, and the way they found out is the guy called once he got to the shop and said, "Hey, I'm the guy that was about the tree." And so, yeah. And it's like Dad said, um, they could have called back and said, "Hey, we talked to the guy. Everything's okay." No, they just left that hanging. I mean, I'm glad it worked out, but it was just so weird and so crazy. But it really shouldn't surprise me with the law enforcement here. But what can you do?